Okay, y'all, it's time for the first official episode of Headline Blitz. And I'm going to have to try to fix all my intros because I'm rebranding the Duck to its radio station days when it was just a radio station. Like I said, this podcast, which will be featured on RNR100FMs.com, will be headlines only. I will not give my opinions here. But I will sometimes, every once in a while, at least weekly or every once in a while, give my full opinions on a headline or specific subject. And it'll be posted over on the APSshow.com, which will be its new website. So I'm going to try to find some way to fix my old intros if I like them. I don't know if there's a way to do it. I may just have to recreate them. But here we go. Here's the intro for... That includes my new one for the podcast. I'm going to try to find some way to fix it. I hope I still got that beat. Okay, here we go. If not, we'll have to make a new one. I hope the headline... Well, it don't matter. It don't matter if it mentions RNR100FM.com or not, because it's the headline podcast. And it will be featured there. With no opinions. Just reading the headline. Just giving you an idea, a feel of the news for that day or that whenever time I'm doing it.
Welcome to RNR100FMs Headline Blitz podcast with your host, Anthony Stone.
Now, the goal of this podcast will be to keep it under 15 minutes, but also it's going to be hard to not put my opinions in here because I'm so good at that. But at the same time, I just want RNR100FM.com to be about the rock and roll or the music that I play. Sometimes it plays country, rock, pop, rap. I got to add Mr. Tupac in there. The only reason I ain't added him is because I ain't run into his album. I have years of albums. But we will get Mr. Tupac in there. U.S. Chinese spy balloon contained technology to monitor communications. The FBI has started to evaluate the pieces of the suspected Chinese spy balloon. Officials say the evidence could be used in a future criminal case. Who are you going to prosecute? How are you going to deal with China? I mean, really, how do you really deal with China? They're their own country, and I know I'm starting to get into political opinion. Got to shut up there. I'm going to shut up. We'll discuss that over on the other podcast. SpaceX admits blocking Ukrainian troops from using satellite technology. We are on CNN.com first. Biden homes in on Rick Scott as he challenges Republicans on Social Security. Oh, I'm going to have to try to keep it out here, but I will say this. Social Security is not like the everyday welfare programs. You earn it. It's your pension. It's basically you paid into it. It's yours. That's something they don't tell you. It's yours. It's not some future person's. It's yours. When you pay into it, I don't care what they say. I don't care. It's yours. I had it explained to me when I signed up for it. It is yours. Don't let any politician tell you or any radio host tell you otherwise. is yours. A New Jersey council member was found shot and killed, the second in a round of a week. Chick-fil-A's newest sandwich has no chicken in it. Google shares lose $100 billion after company's AI chatbot makes an error during a demo. Why does your body suddenly startle as you fall asleep? Analysis. Republicans held a hearing to prove Twitter's bias against them. It backfired in a spectacular fashion. Now let's go over here to Fox News. I gave you a little bit of a coverage of what CNN was yammering about. Now we'll go to Fox News and see what they're yammering about. Just so y'all know, I don't like either one of these sites. Republicans have rained down the hammer on Hunter Biden and his inner circle demand trove of records. Milwaukee police chief calls for end to violence after officer killed. We need that. We really do need that, y'all. I'm trying to tone down the violence altogether. I mean, I put this on my duck Twitter today, which became my gaming Twitter after they took me off Twitter. Politically. We need to find the things that makes us come together instead of the things that divides us. And we need a House and Senate that works for the people and not for the sides. Far left former healthcare worker blows the whistle on trans surgeries for kids. GOP councilman shot dead 1 week after councilwoman's slaying in the same state. Middleton's chess move and Prince Harry PR war Merkel's sister's meltdown. Helena Hitchens' family takes Alec Baldwin to court over her death. Breaking news. Most Chinese spycraft evidence still underwater in large-scale scene, FBI says. Now let's go over to the Infowars. Remember, I'm covering from no opinions here, just headlines. We will see what Infowars says. Because despite whether you like them or hate them, Infowars has a habit of being right. U.S. false flag attack on Nord Stream pipeline rocks world. The head of the EU Commission has now officially launched a criminal investigation. Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh never misses. And remember, Joe Biden bragged he would take the pipeline out. Australia to remove Chinese-made surveillance cameras. Senator John Fetterman hospitalized. Videos. Former Twitter execs squirm as they're told they could be arrested for election interference. Roger Waters accused of being a Putin apologist by former bandmate as he calls for peace in the Ukraine. I'm going to add Roger Waters to my radio station. Not because I want to be political, but I'm not going to ostracize him for this, but I actually do agree with him. We want to be on the right side of history. Ubisoft's partners with the police to jail gamers for their in-game speech. Listen to this. We want to be on the right side of history. How you been on the right side of history? Ubisoft, the company behind the Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six franchises, has not only partnered with the Anti-Defamation League to fight hate in its gaming, but is also now working with British police to jail gamers for their speech. That's not good. Rap jokes, racism, bullying. If you picked up a controller or scrolled a mouse to dabble in some online gaming, then you're likely to come across plenty. The gaming industry, like others, where people interact online, has been trying to figure out how to get to grips with behaviors like this for years. Ubisoft makers major franchises like Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six has now signed a first-of-its-kind deal with the police to try to tackle the issue for its players. I'm going to quit playing their games. I know this isn't the place for the opinions, but today I'm going to uninstall any of their games. Criminalizing people for speech. That's always going to be an opinion that we're going to hold here at the Rock and Roll 100 and the APS show. Speech should always be protected. Hate, love, whatever. Let people respond. There's no sense in jailing people for words, unless, of course, you actually call for violence of somebody. And they don't even take that serious, ladies and gentlemen. You can get up on Twitter and be on a certain side and call for all kinds of violence against whoever the enemies are, and they won't even hold you accountable if you are of a George Soros-leaning entity. Now, if you're a right-winger, they'll come down on you. But I don't think anybody should be jailed over their speech. So I'm going to quit playing their games. Let's see how much I got left. I got 3 minutes left. Let's go back to the headlines. It's going to be rare that I do that on this podcast. Man confronts Pfizer HQ over gain of function. The saga of Dan, how GPT accidentally told the truth for a brief, glorious moment. Poe, MDs and PhDs most hesitant to take the jab. Wonder why. Anti-Bill Gates anthem release. Gates behind the bars. Elon Musk says Deus Ex video game based on Globalist takeover exposed by Alex Jones not supposed to be real. And that has been the headlines for today. I'll see y'all next time on another podcast. I think I'm going to uninstall their games. I like playing some of their games, but no more for me.
You've been listening to the APS show by Anthony Stone. Thank you. All rights reserved. RockandRoll100FM.com.
Free speech is a human right. Remember that. Free speech is a human right. It's how we express ourselves. It's how we tell people we love. How we say we love people. We get to say the things that we don't like. It's how we express ourselves. Free speech is a human right. Don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. That goes for the left and the right, the center, the non-right, the racist, everybody. You get a right to at least say it. You get a right to at least say it. You just don't get to hurt people.